Good morning, everybody. Good morning. I'm Bryan McKay. I'm head of packaging for Woolworths. I'm going to talk today about sustainable packaging. Why would you even bother designing packaging that's sustainable? Why is it important? Well, there's three key reasons why sustainable packaging is important. It's predicted that if we continue to pollute our waterways at the same rate that we do today, that by 2050 there's going to be more plastic in the ocean than fish. So by 2050 there will be more plastic in the ocean than fish. So the planet needs sustainable packaging. Secondly, Woolworths do a lot of work with our customers. Our customers consistently tell us that they want packaging to be more sustainable. They want to see less packaging used, they want to see less plastic, and they want to see more recyclable outcomes. And they also want to see recycled materials being used in packaging. And I'll get into a bit more detail on that soon. So our customers are demanding sustainable packaging. And then if I get on to government, the national packaging targets for 2025, which you all should be aware of, we're not going to meet the national packaging targets. And when I say we, I mean the industry is not going to meet the national packaging targets. Government put industry on notice a couple of years ago to say that their expectation is that industry will move quickly towards achieving the targets. Industry hasn't, and now government is stepping in. And government is going to mandate packaging design and recycled content of packaging. So, three reasons why sustainable packaging is important. Firstly, our consumers demand it. Secondly, the governments expect it. And thirdly, and most importantly, the planet needs it. So at Woolworths, we have a group sustainability plan, and we are very committed to our sustainability journey. It goes across three focus areas: people, planet, and product. Packaging sits within the product category. And overall, we have 14 goals. Sustainable packaging is one of those 14 goals. And we have a number of commitments that sit under those goals. This is a slide that I always find really interesting because it talks about the drivers of value for our customers. And it talks about a whole host of things around price, sustainability, health, convenience. And in my career in FMCG and retail, whenever times get tough, whether it be inflationary times or cost of living, price always has a greater value to consumers. And typically what happens is sustainability falls off. So price is more important, I don't have as much disposable income, so what do I compromise on? I'll compromise on sustainability. Since 2022, we've seen a real shift in that. So here you can see that once we started to get into inflationary periods after 2020, price became a greater value driver for consumers from 25% to 35%. Ordinarily, you'd see sustainability decline. Sustainability went up as a value driver for consumers from 10% to 18%. I've seen some data, some more recent data around 2024, and it's got exactly the same trend. So what this says is, sustainability is not a fad. Consumers understand sustainability, and they want sustainability, and they're not prepared to compromise on it. As I said, Woolworths do a lot of work talking to our customers, and this is a really busy graph. So I'm not going to go through it other than to say, what's important to our customers when it comes to sustainability. All of these light blue sections, which are all up the top, are packaging. So, regardless of whether it's around, protecting forests, reducing water, supporting animal welfare, customers want supermarkets, retailers, and FMCG companies to take action on packaging. So what typically are customers saying? This shouldn't come as any surprise, but what typically are they saying to us when we ask them about, well, why is sustainable packaging important to you? What do you want to see? What they want to see is recyclable packaging. They want to see a reduced amount of plastic packaging on products throughout the whole store. They want to see that it's clear on packaging what they can and can't recycle, because it's confusing. offer fruit and vegetables not in single-use plastics, and packaging made from recycled materials. I think one of the key parts is reducing plastic packaging, but reducing packaging in total. And there's no greater way to make packaging more sustainable than to reduce what you use. The Earth's resources are limited, and the less resources we use is the best thing we can do. So the first part of the packaging sustainability hierarchy is to use less. So what are our targets at Woolworths? Our targets are aligned with the national packaging targets, but more ambitious than the national packaging targets. We take it upon ourselves to lead in this area, and so we've set more ambitious targets. So 100% of packaging with ARLs, that's Australasian Recycling Label. That's the label that tells consumers what to do with the packaging after they've consumed the product. Does it go into the curbside recycling bin? Does it get put into the rubbish bin, or is there an alternate disposal method? Have 100% of packaging recyclable, compostable or reusable. We also have a unique target, which is a 50% reduction in the use of virgin plastic by 2025, which is an extremely bullish target, and a 60% average recycled content in all of packaging by 2025. So what have we done about it? What's Woolworths' progress towards these targets? Since 2018, we've removed 12,000 tonnes of virgin plastic from over 600 products. 12,000 tonnes is a huge amount of virgin plastic to be removed. We're also trying to help our suppliers by developing a preferred materials list, which is a guideline for suppliers into what sort of materials are most recyclable, which materials are least recyclable, and which materials are problematic. And talking about problematic, PET, rigid PVC, is classified as a problematic material. We've replaced over 3,000 tonnes of PVC with recyclable PET in protein products. Rigid polystyrene, another problematic material. We've replaced bread tags with 100% recycled content cardboard tags, and removed over 50 tonnes of problematic polystyrene. Typically, recycled plastics like PET are used in beverage containers and drink bottles, which we do, but we've also broadened that out into our protein, bakery and dairy products. We've removed over 7,000 tonnes of virgin plastic from the supply chain of those categories. So some really big numbers that we're really proud of, because we're really driving hard to create a circular economy. So some of the examples, just a quick snapshot. The photo on the left is a paperboard based meat tray, which has replaced some of our plastic meat trays. It uses 70% less plastic, and the cardboard can be recycled curbside. However, we still have lots of plastic meat trays, but every one of our plastic meat trays contains between 70% and 95% recycled material, so it contains rPET. So wherever we have plastic, we aim to have a high level of recycled content. And it's a point that I really want to make, is that you really need to design the product right and make it recyclable or reusable or compostable. You also need to put the ARL on a product so that the consumer knows what to do with it. Because if they don't know what to do with it, then it'll go in the wrong bin and it won't get recycled. And so you think I've designed my product right, I've got my ARLs on the product, job done. Well, the job's only half done, because unless you're using recycled materials, unless you're using recycled components in your new packaging, then all the rest of it is for naught. Everything will just go to landfill. So it's not good enough to just have a product designed properly, the ARL telling consumers what to do with it, unless you close that loop and use recycled materials. So you need to do all of those things so that we can have an efficient and effective circular economy for plastics. Or for packaging, I should say, not just plastics. So what are some of the other things we do? We have a store at Double Bay that we use. It's a store people shop at, but we use it as a proof of concept store where we test out different concepts. IGD are a global market research company, and they've rated our Double Bay store as in the top 30 of innovative and sustainable stores throughout the whole world, which is a great achievement. And I've just got a shot here of one of the concepts that we ran for quite some time in the Double Bay store around reduction of plastic in our fruit and veg section. You can see that looks quite different to a supermarket that you would normally walk into. So we do a lot of concept testing, a lot of work at getting feedback with consumers and stores about how our concepts are running. Other things that we've worked on or implemented. We're the first retailer to implement compostable produce bags. We did that in South Australia. South Australia has around 80% of households that have access to organic bins. So the produce bags are an ideal size for caddies, for kitchen caddies, which the consumers can put their organic waste into and then put into their organic waste council bins. So that's driven 70 tonnes of plastic into compost each year in South Australia. Of course, you might be going, well, why wouldn't you do that across the country? It's got to have the right infrastructure, and at the moment, South Australia is really the only state that has the right infrastructure for compostability. And I would just make one point. There's a lot of confusion around biodegradable, oxidegradable, compostable. I just make a point that for me, all those other terms are irrelevant. It's either compostable to an Australian standard, either an industrial compostable or a home compostable, or it's not. I won't talk about shopping bags. You've all seen paper shopping bags nationwide now. Lastly, we're not just stopping at what we're doing in 2025. We're also looking beyond 2025. So Woolworths is a founding partner of a startup company called Samsara. Samsara have developed technology where they enzymatically degrade plastics and degrade them back to their monomer materials. So for PET, for example, they use an enzymatic process which breaks down PET down to the monomers of MEG and TPA. And the unique thing about this process is it doesn't have to be a PET drink bottle. In fact, it can be a coloured PET drink bottle. It can also be a piece of clothing or textile. And at the moment, they've got pilot plants running for nylon and PET and taking those materials back to the monomers, which can then be used to make new packaging. So finally, my take-home message to you all is, because we all need to do this together, is eliminate unnecessary packaging, make 100% of your packaging recyclable, reusable, compostable, use the ARL on all of your products, and close the loop by using recycled content in your packaging. And if we all do that, and we're all committed to doing that, then by 2050, we'll have more fish in the ocean than we will plastic. Thank you.